thoughts in common. My request is sent. Would you like to be my friend? Would you like to be my friend?
Hi, patrons. Patrons. That's what you guys are called, right? Patrons. Patreon subscribers. Hi, I thought I would just come in and do a little check-in since we're doing every other week for episodes. My chair is very loud. I apologize for that. It's the chair. And this is it's so important to me to kind of keep you guys in the loop if you want to know about grad school, because I'm only doing this because of the podcast. You know, like the podcast inspired me to seek out therapy as a career. So it's all tied together. But so if you care, if you want to know, I think I want to update you guys on some, different stuff that I'm learning, because I think the field of therapy is and let you know just generally what's going on in that world, in my schooling and everything. So, feel free to watch this, skip this, whatever you want to do, but I want to provide it also, selfishly as a little journal to look back for. So I'm in 3 classes this semester, 12 credits. Some people think that's crazy for grad school because I also work full time, but, work full time. That was right on cue. Good job. But I want to get this over with in a way. I'm excited about the classes, but I also, I want to get to the end result, and start seeing clients and practicing. So my first class that I'm taking, Introduction to Counseling, it's my textbook. In addition to that, I had to get the Ethical Standards Casebook. And my professor says, get this book. I got this on Audible, The Gift of Therapy. And he's like, you should get the print version too. Let me tell you a secret. I don't like reading, but I got it. And I'm glad I did, because I think this is something I'll go back and reference. I'm already highlighting stuff. So that class has been nice. It really is an introduction to therapy, and my instructor is actually a therapist, not a professor. So it's definitely being taught in a different way. But we've done a lot of exercises in defining what counseling is, which is a fun activity to do. I highly suggest it, because a lot of people have a lot of different ideas of what counseling is, and kind of seeing everybody's different definitions and comparing them and coming up with your own unique definition, and realizing the importance of the definition of counseling to the client more than to the therapist is an important realization too. So that's been really nice. We've met twice. The third session this week is canceled because the professor is going on a vacation that he had scheduled ahead of time, which is fine because I will be putting my kayaks into the other 2 Great Lakes I have not been in yet this year. So I can have a factoid after my name that I have kayaked in all 5 Great Lakes. My other class, second class, is diversity and social justice in counseling. Diversity? Is it diversity? I think it's diversity. This is the book for that. Developing Multicultural Counseling Competence. Ooh, okay. I struggled with this a little bit. We've only met once so far, but it challenged me to define my culture. And that's a weird word for me, because I am a white male, and I think I identify mostly as straight. So I don't know. I relate it to race and gender and religion and all these things that I have no minority of. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around it being part of my culture. Which my professor pushed back and challenged me and said, that kind of means you have more responsibility there, because if I'm a representative of a broader culture like white males, I do kind of have more responsibility to present to non-white males what that might look like, and that we're not all douchebags, and that opened my eyes a little bit more. And I also thought about the defining characteristics of who I am, the groups I belong to, people in recovery, adult children of divorce, children of divorce in general, adult children of alcoholics, a lot of stuff like that. So that's actually been something that's challenged my beliefs so far, and I'm excited to get into that class. My third class is meeting in a little over an hour. I got to take off here soon. And that is clinical counseling skills. And this is supposed to be the textbook for that, intentional interviewing and counseling. However, going through the syllabus, I read the first chapter. I took all these notes. I did a bunch of highlighting because I decided I'm just going to keep all these books because they're going to be useful for me in my career. And went to the syllabus and got the PowerPoint out so I could kind of compare my notes to what the professor took away from it. And he has a completely different textbook. Double checked the bookstore. This is the one that's assigned. Reached out to the professor. He said, "Oh yeah, someone else mentioned that. We'll discuss that tonight." The fuck does that mean? Shit's expensive, man. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm really excited. I'm excited about this semester. I'm excited to learn new skills. I'm excited to be challenged. Overall, my biggest struggle so far is whatever the opposite of imposter syndrome is. I get uncomfortable feeling confident. It makes me feel like I'm being cocky. It makes me concerned that I have too many walls up, that I won't learn new things. So when I go into these classes and everybody is complimenting me on certain skills that I have already developed, because I do have this background with this podcast where I'm actively listening and interviewing people, and people are surprised by what I have to offer so far, I get concerned that I'm too confident in where I'm at. And I don't want that to hinder my ability to learn and challenge the beliefs that I already have. And that's been my big challenge, really in my head about all that. And I will share the last thing real quick. We did an exercise where we kind of, as a group, essentially the equivalent of like raising your hand or yes or knowing, what, traumas and stuff we've been through. And you guys know I'm really open about that. I talk about it a lot on the podcast, whether it's, sexual abuse or the effects of alcohol, or my relationship with individual family members and with myself, and sex, and very open about all that. But doing it in person in a group setting, I felt a vulnerability and discomfort with that vulnerability that I was very surprised by. So something to reflect on. That's all for right now. I hope you guys enjoy this. And if you do, drop a comment below, tell your friends to sign up for Patreon, and keep doing this. I might just keep doing it anyway, because I think, like I said, it'd be a cool thing to look back on. So every other week when there's not a new episode of the podcast, do one of these. But we'll see. You let me know what you think. And enjoy. And thank you so much for supporting this show. Obviously, this show means a lot to me, so your support means a lot to me as well. Have a great week, guys. I love you. Bye-bye.